Hi again, everybody, and welcome to All Things Spiritual here in Ireland. I'm Des McMahon. I'm with
Mary Edwards. How are you?
the dynamic duo. A couple of questions that we've often come across is one of them about shamanism and shamanic practices. Now, this is Mary's expertise. This is not mine, so I am really interested in knowing more about shamanism because it's become very popular over the last few years. More knowledge, more shamanic practitioners are coming out there to the forefront. And for someone who doesn't know what shamanism is, maybe you could explain a bit what that is?
Yeah, it's probably one of my greatest loves is shamanic work.
Mm-hmm.
So shamanism would be a connection. It's an earth-based spirituality.
Okay.
So it's a connection with the earth. And over the last couple of years, we've been through this global pandemic. People have really, really realised how important nature is and how healing nature is.
Oh yeah.
Just to be in with the trees and the forests and the waters, and in shamanism, we believe that everything has a spirit. The spirit of the waters, the spirit of the rocks, spirit of the mountains and the trees and everything is alive. And in Ireland, we would be druids. We would have had druids. Shaman is it's a Western word. The medicine people of the indigenous tribes would have been what we call shamans, yeah, or druids or whatever. So it's a connection with the earth, working with the earth, working with nature, for healing, for yourself and for others. And you imagine the medicine woman, the medicine man, it's working with herbs and crystals and water and using all of these for healing, communicating with the spirits of the herbs. And we would believe that there's the nature spirits, the little small water nymphs and the spirits that work with the trees and the elementals. And so we can communicate with them in the same way as we can communicate with the spirits of the rock or the spirits of the mountains or the spirits of the sky, the winged ones, the birds and the animals, the four-legged ones that walk the earth, the ones from the waters. They all have a consciousness. Everything has a soul. And it's in shamanism, we communicate with the souls, the consciousness of all living beings. And we believe that all living beings are sacred. So a shamanic journey is, we work with three worlds: the underworld, the middle world, which is this world that we live in now, and the upper world. So we could call the upper world what we know as spirit world.
Okay.
But it's all spirit world in shamanism. So the underworld is where we go to. You go down into the underworld through the roots of a tree, or you could sometimes travel down through a hole in the ground. Very similar to like Alice in Wonderland. That kind of a thing. And in the underworld, we're really kind of working with deep subconscious as well. And we are connecting with our guides that help us, or our power animals. So power animals would be animals that take spirit beings that take on the form and the attributes of the animal to guide us and to help us, to watch over us and to mind us. So a lot of people would have wolves or bears or tigers or squirrels or monkeys or snakes or and then we have the winged ones, the owls, the hawk, the eagles, and they have higher vision, the raven, so, and in communicating we have the ability to connect with all of this. Again, the culture, the indigenous cultures where for where's the best place to move in the winter, so they would communicate with the spirits to find out where was the best hunting ground, where were the buffaloes, where would the tribe survive, the shamans would honor their dead.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the people who've passed belong to them.
And they
And
honoured the soul of the animal they
and
killed as well.
yes, they have great reverence for all beings, and you know, for animal that has given up their lives, you know, for their food or for the sustenance of the tribe. And we're all tribal, you know, and we can see even by walking in nature, by going and spending time at the beach, how it just heals us, you know, just by our very being in it. There's a lot of books that you can read about shamanism. I find that shamanism is connected to every religion, every culture, and every race. And there's one thing about it that I love is that you'll find Buddhist teachings in shamanism, or you know, Hindu teachings, or Muslim teachings, or Catholic teachings, or whatever. It's, you know, you'll find them all in shamanic traditions, and they because it's all one. These came before. Shamanism came before all of these other modalities, you know, throughout the ages.
What would be a reason why someone would go see a genuine shamanic practitioner? What would be a reason why someone would go see a shaman?
There's many reasons, and also why people train in shamanism. Yeah. So you know, I loved the training part of it. I loved teaching people how to be able to do this themselves. You know, how to be journey with a drum. So the drum is the heartbeat of the mother, and you know, even as a fetus in her mother's womb, the first sound we heard was our mother's heartbeat, and the drum is the heartbeat of the earth. So the medicine people would have journeyed, you know, to non-ordinary reality, and this is what they call the other worlds, to communicate. So if a person comes to see a shamanic practitioner, it can be for shamanic healing, you know, which is very, very, very powerful.
And I've heard of things called a soul retrieval.
Yeah.
What would that be now?
A shamanic healing or a soul retrieval would be where in a soul retrieval the shaman journeys in an ordinary reality to retrieve a soul part that is lost, connected to a person through trauma or through fright, or sometimes through illness or loss or relationship breakdown. You know, we assume that a soul part leaves for maybe the most profound reasons, but it can also be reasons that we would kind of not, it could be relatively simple. You know, a breakup of a relationship. Do you ever feel you lose a part of yourself?
Mm-hmm.
You know, but that's soul loss, or you know, like a death, or a bullying, or it takes years to get over it. That's soul loss.
Mm-hmm.
It's not just that we're holding on to something and we're not moving forward in our life. A part of us have been left back in that experience. So the shamanic practitioner will journey into non-ordinary reality with their power animals. Power animals are exactly the same as angels. You know, we also worked with loved ones. We meet all of those in the underworld. Mm-hmm. So then we would find the soul part. And the soul part will tell you the story. It'll tell you what happened.
And why it left.
Why it left.
Right.
What, you know, but it could be grief or trauma or illness, or, as I said, so many reasons. You know, you can see it when a child gets a fright. You know, they jump. Or you'd even see sometimes with people, you know, if they hear something that's really traumatic, you can really see them leaving their body.
Mm-hmm.
Or sometimes I'd see people walking down the street and you can see soul loss written on their faces because they're vacant.
Mm-hmm. That's right, yeah.
You know, so the shaman then, or the shamanic practitioner, will journey and retrieve that soul part and then blow it back in using the shaman's breath into the forehead and the heart, and then work with the person, you know, over a period of time to help them to integrate that soul part back.
Mm-hmm.
Because just because the soul part comes back, you know, the trust needs to be built.
And sometimes people say the person who loses part of them can sometimes look for that part of them that's missing through addiction.
Yeah.
Or you do try and find a part of them that's missing through addiction, or we are going terribly angry in their lives, or no
Yeah.
esteem because
Yeah.
of it. And when we get that part of us back,
Yeah.
we've like the part of the jigsaw puzzle that's been missing in us.
Yeah. And you see it even in relationships, and also in work, how we identify ourselves by our status or by our partner. If when I feel loved, then I love me.
Mm-hmm.
Or that I have to earn this love,
That's right, yeah.
or that I have to put up with things that I wouldn't usually put up with, but it's better than being on my own. These are all classic symptoms of soul loss, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Or when we validate ourselves based on the validation of another person. They think I'm great, so I'm okay. This is all, to me, indicates soul loss. We also have blocks in our body. The shamanic practitioner can scan the physical body, with their hand, and scanning the energy, or the energy centers in the body. We have a chakra system in our physical body, and also the energy centers in our aura, or our luminous body, and can feel where there are blocks, and actually remove these blocks from the person's physical or energy body. So it's what I love about that work is that it's so profound, and it happens. The work happens so quick, and it's so available to everybody. Because even if you can't get to a shamanic practitioner, there's loads of books that you can read. We can have spontaneous soul retrievals through, going for counselling, therapy, healing, lots of different healing modalities out there, where we would go and then slowly get bits of us back.
Right.
You see it in counselling. Yeah. I feel that shamanism is a very, very, very quick way, I suppose, and also then to help and support the person with the integration of the soul part after it's retrieved.
Right. And how would someone spot a genuine shamanic practitioner? Like, I'm sure it's something you have to be careful about who you go to. Is there a way we can?
Shaman will never tell you they're a shaman.
Okay.
A line never has to tell you that they're a line. Everybody else knows.
Gotcha. So very, very healing practice, basically shamanism.
Very powerful.
Very powerful.
And then we would kind of encourage people to spend time in nature. I feel you could really, really, even if it wasn't for just shamanic healing or soul retrieval, to become connected with this way of life, to be connected to the earth, to be connected to the medicine of the earth, and the moon cycles. It's all connected in shamanic work.
And I know you teach people how to do shamanic work here.
Yeah.
If someone was to sign up for one of your classes, what would be the process? Reader's Digest version. What would someone be learning?
So do we work with the Celtic year?
Okay.
So we work with all the cycle of the Celtic year. I found it amazing. So really the work with the solstices, or the quarter days, and there's 4 of each. So there's 4 solstices, and then there's 4 equinoxes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and so we would work with one of the 4, either the solstices or the equinoxes. It's usually a 2-year course, 3-year course.
Right. Yeah.
So we start moving our life in the same flow as the seasons. We always start at Samhain. Samhain is October 31st.
Yeah, Halloween.
November the 1st. Because this is the death and dying. And this is when, we prepare to go into our caves. And, the darkness in this part of the world. It's dark, we're coming into the darkest nights.
Mm-hmm.
And the cold, So we would see it as a time of hibernation.
Mm-hmm.
But it's where we rest, and where we also really start dreaming up what seeds we want to plant for the springtime. And these seeds would not just be seeds for our garden, they would be seeds in our own lives. First of all, in the death and dying, we look at what we want to let go of. and what is dying to us. And you know, we really get help in letting that go. Sometimes we can hold on to things that are dying to us. You know, relationships, ways of life, thought forms, work. You know, sometimes it can be even our age. Different levels that we go in within our life cycle.
It's very interesting work.
It's amazing work.
Yeah. So that's a quick synopsis on shamanism. And keep tuning in for more, because we'll be giving more information about other things like shamanism and angels, anything spiritual, as we say here. So thanks, Mary, for that.
You're very welcome. Any questions or anything about it, you know, or if you'd like us to speak about anything, please put your comments up.
Yep.
And we can make this you know, kind of an all come together.
Yeah.
Kind of a thing.
You're our audience. You know, you tell us what you want. And if you like what you heard here today, we'd appreciate it if you could press the like and subscribe button and share if you can. So from behalf of me, Des McMahon, and
Mary Edwards,
thanks for tuning in, and we'll catch you next time. Remember, as you say here, your life, your rules, be happy.
Yeah, take care.